It's a day of celebration, and for him and for all of us who love the Lord, it's a day that Israel becomes a nation again. Israel becomes a nation again. Well, by the way, that's already happened. But for Amos, he's looking out and he realizes, I can see a day that Israel's about to be judged. I can see a time when they're going to be exiled from the land. But I can see beyond that, the day. On that day, they'll become a nation again. And so Amos is so caught up in that moment, he's excited. Now, and catch how he talks about it. He says, also, God says, I will restore the captivity of my people Israel, and they will rebuild the ruined cities and live in them. They will also plant vineyards and drink their wine, and make gardens, eat their fruit, and make gardens and eat their fruit. I will also plant them in the land, and they will not again be rooted out from the land which I have given them, says the Lord. Says the Lord your God. Amos said, God just told me that. God said, Israel, I know they're going to have to undergo judgment. I know they're going to have to undergo exile. I know there's going to be a long period of time. Israel won't be Israel. But I see the other side. And on that day, Israel will be a nation again. Ezekiel saw that. Ezekiel saw it, and it's called the vision of the dry bones. God took him into a valley that was just filled with skeleton bones everywhere, just scattered all over. And God said to Ezekiel, hey, can these bones ever live again? And they're dry, and they're brittle, and they're broken, and they're not put together. And Ezekiel says, the best answer to God you could ever give, Lord, you know. And the Lord said, preach to the bones. And he's supposed to preach to all these dead bones. And so he preaches, and they says there was a rattling sound. By the way, he's hearing and seeing this, and the bones start coming together. And they stand on their feet as skeletons. And then the Lord said, can they ever live again? And he said, Lord, you know. And he said, you preach to them. And so he preaches to this dead group. By the way, as a pastor, I know what it's like to preach to the dead. But anyway. Yeah, there you go, yeah. Okay, yeah. If you didn't like that joke, text Doug no, I'm kidding. Ding dong, ditch Doug. But he preaches to them, and it says he actually watches all the sinews and the muscles form, and the eyes fill the socket, and skin comes back over them, and then they're standing there still, they're not alive. And he says, call for the breath. Call for the breath. That all was symbolic that one day Israel would appear like it had no hope to be a nation again, and it would come back. It would come back to be a nation. And in our day and time, we all know that it happened. We know that it's true.